everybody, and welcome to another Thoughts by Jay Brown segment on the Jay's Political Podcast. And I have a question for everybody. Who is a Nazi? What defines a person as a Nazi? In today's modern colloquial terms. The reason why I ask is the other day I was watching a YouTube video by Avi Yemini. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Avi Yemini is a Israeli-Australian Jew. He's of Israeli descent, lives in Australia, and actually served with the Israeli Defense Force. That's my understanding of his story. As I watch several of his videos as well as others about him, I see people calling him Nazi, with total disregard for what the actual word means, what the definition means. Now, there are a few different colloquial terms used for it. Those of us that use it properly to define somebody who is a National Socialist, and let me pull this up here, UrbanDictionary.com for, the more colloquial termed definitions. And number 2, someone who has an opinion that is different from my own. And here's the thing. We're too wrapped up on that second definition. Or say we, I mean the extreme left. That anybody who differs with their opinion is a Nazi. Which I think is BS, by the way. I stick to definition number 1, or also what they had for definition number 3. Let me scroll back down here. Which is literally a huge breakdown as to what the National Socialist Party was. So, as you can see here, but the swastika predates the motifs on records of the Stone Age, etc. Anyways, I tend to stick with those two kind of definitions for the term Nazi. I don't know about you. That's kind of why I'm posing this question. What makes somebody a Nazi? Truly and honestly. Why do we have to treat somebody that is a right-wing person asking questions? Why do you call them a Nazi? Do you not see the hypocrisy in calling somebody like Avi a Nazi? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play a few clips out of this video from October 12th, 3 days ago, and we'll see what you think.
It says zero emissions by 2025 or we're extinct.
Not extinct, we're going to make the planet into an uninhabitable planet.
He's a Nazi.
Yeah.
How long have we got before the Nazis take over?
Maybe just walk away from him.
So here we are in Carlton Gardens.
So here we have the first person. You can see him here trying to tell the bicycle guy that he's a Nazi. But I don't know if you caught it.
The climate, you care about traffic. But this organisation says zero emissions.
See this guy right here? Now I know Avi and his team has taken some liberty with the way they've edited this together, because you'll not only see this guy hanging around him all day, but you would also see her in bits later on. So I don't know the exact time frame of how things are going on, but you can just see how this guy here follows him around. Watch again.
By 2025 or we're extinct.
Not extinct, we're going to make the planet into an uninhabitable planet.
He's a Nazi.
Yeah.
How long have we got before the Nazis take over?
Maybe just walk away from him.
So here we are in Carlton Gardens.
So what he was at was the joined Extinction Rebellion. And all day he's being treated as if he is a Nazi. Being treated, in my opinion, quite dishonestly
Me? Can you tell us, would you have any idea how they've powered those speakers?
They're plug-in, they're batteries, mate.
The funny thing is Avi is actually calling out kind of some hypocrisy here, that these people want zero emissions by 2025, and that they're using, the means of emissions to power up their batteries, power up their speakers with a portable generator as well. So, be that as it may, you're limited to the technology that you have at the time you're in. So, I'm sure if they had an actual way of charging without using emissions, they would. So, I'll chalk that one up as hypocrisy due to their inability to have the technology at the time.
Get rid of fossil fuels in this world. Get rid of the Avi Yeminis in this world.
So by 2025, they want zero emissions besides their two speakers, those two.
Yeah, if you hear the old guy saying zero Avi Yeminis as well, that's pretty violent. Let's scroll ahead a little bit here.
Extinction Rebellion speakers. When's the mass extinction going to happen?
Who knows, but it won't be far away.
How are the speakers powered?
Well, they're battery operated.
How long have we got?
Did you hear that? This guy's a Nazi.
When's the mass extinction going to happen?
Who knows, but it won't be far away.
How are the speakers powered?
Well, they're battery operated.
How long have we got?
Hey, fuck off, fascists!
I guess that's a...
F off fascist. I mean, seriously, come on. I can't make this up. I mean, how do you get around... Anybody that knows who this guy is knows that he is the furthest thing from a fascist.
Really?
Do you find...
Here, let's back this one up a bit.
Complete extinction. There's scientific studies that show at 2 degrees of warming.
See?
This guy's a Nazi. He's a Nazi, so I wouldn't take
Really?
See, the guy's back.
Do you find that...
The guy's back, I mean, it's seriously, how do you get around? How can you justify going around just calling somebody a Nazi for no other reason than he disagrees with your opinions on things? That is not what Nazis are about. That's not what, the alt-right, that's not what any of the actual white supremacy groups are about. It's like calling Proud Boys, alt-right white supremacist groups when they have minority members. That's just, it boggles my mind. Now there's a scene in this video here. Oh, here we are. About halfway through where, let me get it queued up here.
You got no problem with them taking over a road. Look at that. They got no problem with them taking over a road. But me walking up and asking questions is the problem. How many times...
Okay. Let me back this up just a bit. All right. So here we're going to have Avi confronting the guy that's been walking around calling him a Nazi all day.
How many times do you reckon you called me a Nazi today?
A Nazi? He's a Nazi. This guy's a Nazi. This Nazi.
Nah, we're having a good conversation. This is the most you'll get out of a lefty.
And
Can you at least defend half of what you're saying? You're actually scaring kids in...
The other guy is actually one of the ones that came around and was telling people he's a Nazi too. It's just mind-boggling.
To the idea that there was going to be an extinction. And then when I ask any of you guys, they admit there's no extinction. So why are you scaring kids into killing themselves?
This is just great. This is pure comedy gold.
I'd say you have a nice smile, but I'll be lying.
See? That's just great.
I think it's one word, Nazi. Do you want to say Nazi one more time just for the camera? Say it. I know you want to say it. That's a Nazi. I said it for you. It's been a good sport. All right. It's nice to meet you. So how long?
So that's kind of where I want to leave this off is, just the people calling him Nazis. Say what you will about the protest that he was at. Say what you will about the people involved, whether you support them or not, as far as the topic at hand of their event, which is climate change. Until I can get some concrete science to back it all, and that's just it. There's so many conflicting reports, so many conflicting studies about, the world's going to end at this point, the world, we're at a turning point at this point, etc. It's hard to predict the climate. That's why weather people have a hard time predicting it, even with the most accurate supercomputers. That being said, what I really want to focus in on is what makes somebody a Nazi today. What is it about people like Avi Yemini, people like Tucker Carlson, people, like myself, that don't support 100% the left-wing ideology, that don't support everything that the left wants us to support? Why? Why is it that you would brand us Nazis? Why is it that you would try to discredit us in such a way that people would not want to hire us, people would not want to do anything to work with us? The only way to bridge gaps in society with large groups of people is to compromise. As soon as you start not wanting to compromise, as soon as you start not wanting to actually do anything, guess what? You're not going to get any of what you want solved. People are sitting here looking in the United States at the next upcoming election and are concerned that Trump may win. And people on the left are very worried about that. Heck, I am too. I really don't care for the man. I don't care for him at all. But he holds an office that I do respect, and that is the office of the presidency. I took an oath, serving in the United States Navy, to uphold and defend the Constitution. I have also, part of that job is to obey the orders of those appointed over me. Now, I'm no longer active duty, so I don't have to abide by orders, per se. But I do carry a respect for the government and the principles of the government, the founding documentation of the Constitution. So, with that, if I don't support your ideology and witch hunt to impeach the president, because I don't have all the information on that. I'm trying to study it and not let myself be influenced by either side. So I've been avoiding most of the media topics about it, most of the YouTube channel topics about it. Because I want to read through the whistleblower complaint. I want to read through the transcripts. I want to get as much information as I can and remove any bias that I can have against it. So, but, if I don't come out and actively support the impeachment, I'm considered a Trumper. I'm considered somebody who supports the alt-right. I'm people who I'm with the alt-right, which is the furthest thing, which is as far from me as the far left is. But it is what it is. So again, my thought of the day, and just kind of the reason why I sat down to do this, I haven't done a video for a long time, because I'm actually working on a series of videos, is, why are we Nazis? Can you describe to me why somebody like Avi, an actual Jew, is considered a Nazi? I'm just flabbergasted by that thought. So, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, dislike if you want. Anything helps me in the algorithms. Although the fact that I've used the word Nazi several times and the word Jew several times in here, I have no chance of ever getting this monetized. Heck, it probably won't even show up in most of my subscribers' feeds. But it is what it is. So, thank you. Have a wonderful day.